Hello, dear ones. I want to start saying that I hope that those of you who have been really, really impacted by the election the other night, I hope you are feeling more grounded in yourself and that you are aware that coming into your own authority, coming into your own sovereignty, where the outer world does not have that emotional impact on you anymore. That feels to me like a very important step for all of us. If we can find that freedom inside of us to really just be who we are, independent of what other people think or say about us, there's a lot of freedom in there. And I have to admit, I am also on that, feeling like, okay, Pernilla, you can step out a little more. And because I also feel that for the past 4 or 5 years, that I have been in that group that is being judged a lot. I'm not going to go into details about it, but most of you probably know and maybe very much relate to that. And this morning, when I woke up, just like yesterday morning and the morning before, just feeling like, whoa, you're like, oh, now this is the next step. So this morning there was a very strong um, energy, a fierce energy, a strong energy, a warrior, a sovereign warrior from the inside that is like, I do not want to be afraid anymore to speak at that bigger level, what my experience is, because people are still out there judging that group of people. And so I've just been sitting with that. So maybe the YouTube today is kind of opening the door to just really being more okay with other people's reaction, because that's what a lot of us are battling with for eons, right? What are other people going to say about me? Are they not going to like me anymore? Are they going to be upset with me? Are they going to label me, judge me? All that stuff that we all have dealt with on so many levels. And the last levels have been the last 4 or 5 years when so much has changed. And I want to say in the beginning, I was so afraid, to really share what my experience was with a lot of these things that were changing. And I was so grateful that I had a lot of friends where we were on the same level. Beautiful friends, deeply spiritual friends. And we could talk about it. It's like, oh, wow. Oh, we can talk about this. This is great. So there was a sense of safety in that. But to be honest, I don't feel safe sharing some of my experiences. It's not some beliefs that I'm making up, it is my experiences that I feel in my body. I am not very influenced by what is going on in the world. I am definitely paying attention to it, but it doesn't impact me. What impacts me is when I feel something of an expansion where it tells me, yes, this is it. And that expansion feels like it's connected to the field. And as you know, what I talked a lot about the field, Rumi talks about the field beyond right doing and wrongdoing. That is what I That's what I vote for, if I can use the word vote. The others is just, it to me, it's a circus. It's a real circus because I see this as the matrix. I cannot unsee that anymore. I can deepen in the seeing, and I do. And I talk about it as you know, but I think there are a lot of us who may be on the same page as I, where we feel like, oh, is it safe to say this? So this is part of the next step in my unfolding, is to maybe have more conversations with people where I would normally like not say anything, or just staying quiet, just staying in my heart, just letting the love flow out, not taking sides, not labeling, just staying present and listening and allow their energy to come through. And then there are times where I may say something, but I know in myself I have to be very careful what I say and maybe even how I say it. I can't remember if I shared that the other day, but when I was driving to a friend's house with two of my friends, some of this challenging conversation was just starting up. And my one friend says very harshly, like, I don't want to go, I don't want to talk about it, like, boom. And it was startling. My nervous system gets startled, because I grew up with that kind of energy from my father. So I just kind of fell into that. And then I felt into, well, what is true here for me, Pernilla? What is true? Well, the truth is, I really would like to be able to connect with people who have such a strong emotional reaction to whatever. So I said, is it okay if I ask you a question? And he said, yeah, it's okay you ask me a question. It was still like charged. I said, okay, can you say that in a different way, what you just said? Because that feels very like cutting me off, and that doesn't feel good. And it landed perfectly. He totally said, oh, yes, I'm so sorry. And then he started sharing what was going on inside of him. And there was a lot of fear and a lot of grief. So he just shared where he was at without going into a lot of detail. And I said, thank you, because now I feel connected with you again. Now I don't feel like I need to close off and run, because that is my default, and as it is for many people. And then there was much more harmony, and it was just easy to be together again. So that is what I've also talked a little about the other days, that hey, we need to learn to speak from our experience and not from our beliefs or opinions, and then start arguing. An argument is just from mind to mind, all happening in a matrix. Not for me. Zero interest. But I do have an interest in see if we can connect. Can we talk even if we disagree? And that seems to be the theme, at least on my channel. But wow, almost everybody I talk to right now, that's kind of in the air. Can we be kind to each other? Can we talk to each other? Can we listen to each other? And I think what is the challenge is that there's an attack in it, or there's a war in that if we do not know how to be present with it in ourselves, right? If I am not able, see, if I was not able to just be present with that fear when I got this harsh cut off, I would have, shrunk and gone out the side door of the car. And, but I just felt this fear, felt my own reaction to it. If I had not done the work I have done, I might have wanted to argue about it, right? Goes nowhere. It just adds more fire, more fuel to the fire. So I was just like, oh, that's scary. Okay, Pernilla, can you still do it? It's like, yeah, I can. What do you want? I want to just ask this question. And it was well received. So there is a way that we can do that. And it's not easy. It really takes a willingness and an experience, practice, to really be able to be fully present with our own inner experience and not spit it out on somebody through argument, through finger pointing, through blaming, through name calling. I've been called names. I've been called dangerous years ago. It's like, wow, I don't see myself as that dangerous, but some people do because they have not resolved their own fear inside, how we are sovereign, how we are the power, and that we should never put our power outside of ourselves. That will always be a disaster, and it is. And then when you put your power out there, then you get very scared and very judgmental because you have given your power away. So we should not do that anymore. Instead, my ongoing invitation for you and definitely for myself also is like, okay, how can I speak my truth right now without blame or judgment or finger pointing? How can I be so true to myself that I could say to my friend, can you say that in a different way? It just feels really harsh, when you say it that way, and it scares me. Bang, I'm totally open with my experience. I'm not trying to hide it or defend it. It's just like, boom, there it is. And that landed beautifully. And for the most part, that is how it will be. When we do that, when I do that, then I have full access to the field because I'm not trying to, work something or battle it or suppress it or regurgitate it. I'm here, I'm myself fully. I'm not hiding anything or suppressing. I have access to the field. And then I allow the field to do whatever needs to happen through as me. I don't know what that is, but I trust it. I trust the field. For the most part, I definitely have my moments where I'm like, wait a minute. But for the most part, I hang out there all the time, even while being in the world. I just feel like I want to be connected all the time. That's my deepest longing, just to be a full open vessel for the field, which I know is love, which I know is harmony, perfection. And then little by little, that field can start washing away everything that tells me otherwise. So, can we all at least open up to the possibility to listen to each other when we have very different experiences, when we may be opinionated? Can we be present with our opinionated arguments instead of spewing it out? Can we just be present with it here and feel into it? Let it speak to us. Allow a space for us. That's why when I talk about my ALL formula, ALL formula stands for allow, listen, and love. I've talked a lot about that. You can find a lot of my videos on that subject. It's like I allow my experience and then I can listen to it. Now you'll feel what's really going on inside. For my friend, it was sadness and fear. Now love this fear. Now be present with this fear. Learn from it. Be open to it. And then let that communicate. If you need to communicate to somebody, it's like, wow, I'm really afraid. Yeah, I'm really afraid. And I wasn't sure how to be with it. It felt so big. But actually, now that we're really making space for it, it's okay. Connection made. We're back in communication in an open, loving way. Um, that's my invitation every single day for all of us, including myself. And if you need help with that, most of us do. It's most of us. I did not learn how to listen to myself when I grew up. And for a long time, I didn't know. But once I learned it, life is a lot easier. I just am always aligned with who I am, and then I can be aligned with the field, and then I can be an open vessel for the field to live my life. I don't know if there's anything more important than that right now. I think we have reached the precipice. We are at the end of the cliff, like I talked about, I think yesterday. And now we need to start flying and let go of the old and create a new way that I would suggest right now is at least to learn to fully listen to yourself with kindness and love, and know that it is so okay that you feel that way. As long as you own it, it's fine. Then it can change, then it can expand, then it can heal, then it can let go, then you can give it what you need. If it's suppressed and we spew it out on others and want to argue, this energy, there's a lot of pain in there. And this energy really wants you and I to listen to it. So let's give that a try. And always, if you need support with that, please reach out. This is my thing, as I call myself a self-love mentor. This is what I love to do, to help people be present with, whatever is in here that is not met yet or experienced yet. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't matter. It's just making space and learning how to do that and stay fully authentic and connected with yourself. All right, my friends, until next time.